Hello everyone, my name is Alketa and welcome to my first video tutorial on YouTube. In this video I am going to show you step by step how to sew the Eileen transparent bustier. This sewing pattern is available to download in 4 sizes. Check the link on the description. It's a very versatile piece as you can use it as a base for different kinds of dresses or bustiers. I will upload more tutorials to show you how to decorate this bustier to create unique pieces. So don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials. For this project you will need a stiff non-stretchy forced mesh. For the cups you will need bra foaming by yard, mine is 6 mm thick and I've chosen nude color. You will need channeling wire for the bones and underwires, one pair of underwires according to your size, satin cord for the lacing, and 4 mm thick plastic bones. You can find the ready to sew kit on my store, link on the description. So let's get started. Prepare and cut all the pieces, making sure to transfer all the notches and the places where the bones will be. Pin the front piece with the 2 back pieces. Sew along in straight stitch in 1 cm seam allowance. Now place the channeling, making sure that one side of the channeling goes over that seam and sew. Cut off the excess of the tulle and sew over the other side of the channeling. And then repeat the same for the other side of the bustier. Now pin and sew the channeling on the center front. Now pin the channeling under the cups. And on the back. And now sew all with straight stitch. Now let's prepare the loops. On the PDF pattern you will have a piece named loops. Fold the piece and sew 5 mm seam allowance along the folded side. And then turn over the fabric, creating a cord. Now cut the cord in 5 cm long pieces. These are the loops. Using the back piece pattern, mark where loops will be placed. Place the loops as shown. and sew 1 cm seam allowance. Now place the channeling over the seam allowance, making sure to place it on the wrong side of the bustier. Sew over the seam that was made previously to fix the loops. Cut off the excess so it doesn't go beyond the channeling. And then turn over the channeling on the right side of the bustier and sew. Now let's prepare the cups. Pin the bottom pieces of the cups together and sew them in 1 cm seam allowance. Now pin the upper piece of the cup with the bottom piece, making sure that the notch on the upper piece matches the center of the bottom piece. Now sew the foam pieces to form the cups. First sew together the 2 bottom pieces using a zigzag stitch, and then sew the upper piece using the same stitch. When making this kind of bustiers that don't have a lining, I always sew a ribbon on the inside of the cups to cover up the stitches. If you don't have it, it's okay, it's just for aesthetic purpose. Using a round form, press the cups to give them shape. Then press the fabric to the tulle. Place the tulle piece over the cup, making sure to match them, and pin it all over. Sew in a 3mm stitch just to fix in place the fabric so it doesn't move while attaching the cups to the bodice. Now let's attach the cups. I always pin firstly the center of the cup, and then the edges, and then all over, and I sew in 1 centimeter seam allowance. Sew the channeling, making sure to sew over the first stitch. Now cut off the excess and sew the other side of the channeling. Place the underwires that matches your size. Close the edges of the wire channeling using a small zigzag stitch and sewing several times to reinforce it. Now it's time to sew the bias on the upper side of the bustier. First, place the bias on the right side of the bustier, making sure that you place not the folded side but the other one, and sew all along in 1 centimeter seam allowance. Be careful while sewing near the wires. Now turn over the bias on the inside of the bustier and pin it all over to fix it in place, and then sew it. For clean work, make sure to sew over the previous stitch. Now insert the bones, making sure to cut them 1 centimeter shorter to leave space for the bias. And make sure to melt the edges. Now sew the bias on the bottom side of the bustier using the same technique as the previous one. Now it's time to press the bustier using a cotton cloth to protect the fabric, and press until the bones takes a straight shape. Then press the cups too, using a round form to give them the shape. Thank you for watching and hope it was enough detail. If you have any question or suggestion to help me improve my tutorials, you're welcome on the comment section. I really would appreciate any opinion. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in other tutorials. Bye!